Hi guys, it's Rosa here. I hope you're all having a really lovely day. I'm here today to share with you some new things which I picked up last weekend. Last weekend I went to my mum and dad's house for the long bank holiday weekend. It was really lovely. And we went to an amazing vintage fair in Beccles, which is in Suffolk. It's a really tiny little town, but it's really beautiful, and they have this amazing vintage, just a vintage fair every May Day weekend. So we went to that, and I also went to my mum's shop and went obviously to her house, and she gave me some nice things because my mum's like that. She's very good at sharing things, so I'm very lucky. So I thought I'd show you some of the bits I've got. I also won a little competition. I've got a few prizes. So yeah, I've acquired a great deal of sewing patterns, lots of vintage and some new, and I've also acquired some fabrics. So I'm very excited to share them with you. Let's get started. So I went to this lovely little shop called Vintage Mischief in Beccles, and they have an amazing selection of vintage fabrics. I've spoken about them before, and I've shown you fabrics I've bought from there before, and yeah, I'm obsessed. They're just great. And I bought this lovely striped cotton sheet. So this is an old vintage sheet, and my dad was like, why are you buying an old sheet? But you know what? I really liked it. It's got this beautiful like pastel stripe on it. I just think it's so pretty. And what I want to do is make a shirt like one that I saw in Boden. I don't know if you guys know Boden, but it's quite popular in the UK. Actually haven't really bought anything from there ever. It's quite sort of like, it's not overly expensive, but it definitely is more expensive than most shops, on the high street. And they have like a really cool button-down shirt in like this lovely pastel-y stripes. It looks kind of like, reminds me of the seaside, and yeah, I just really loved it. I think I paid £7 for this, and yeah, it's a really nice size sheet. It's a single, but that's more than enough to make a nice vintage. This is vintage. It's more than enough to make a nice button-down shirt. I think I'm going to use what's it called? I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I got it when I was in America because it was the first time I ever went to America, and it was before you could buy this particular brand of patterns in the UK. And I got very excited, and I still haven't used it. That was like 5 years ago, the first time I went to New York, and I bought this pattern. So yeah, I'm very excited to finally make use of it and actually, make a really nice button-down shirt in the kind of stripes here. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I was wearing. This, you remember this, I've shown this before, is my I Am Patterns zebra jumper, and it's got these really funky sleeves. I really love it. It's a French pattern, and I made it out of this gorgeous fabric which is from the Goldhawk Road, and I know that Alex from So Happy has bought some as well, and she made a really nice Freya top. It's just a really nice sort of ponty fabric. Yeah, and I just love the sleeves. I feel like quite jazzy. It's kind of a bit not cold today, but it's a bit fresh, so it's nice, got a bit snuggly. So yeah, that's my first fabric. I love vintage fabric because when it was a sheet, it's obviously been washed and washed over and over again, and it's just so soft and lovely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and I love that the colours have faded a little bit. Just think it gives it such a lovely look, really nice and soft. The next fabric I'm going to show you is one which actually I didn't pay. I got two here, and I'm very lucky. I didn't actually pay for either of these because this one here, when I was staying with my mum, she said that she had bought it. Look at this, isn't it so much fun? It's this lovely vintage bright yellow cotton, which yeah, I'm just loving. I think it's so fun. I'm again filming on my boyfriend's camera, so if things are out of focus, I will just take photos and insert them. So sorry if it's not in focus. There'll be a picture here somewhere. But she bought this for herself with the intention of making herself a dress or something, but she said she just didn't really think it was her style. She wasn't sure she was going to use it, and she asked if I would like it. So yeah, I was very lucky there because I just think this is the coolest fabric ever. It's just so fun. I must admit that I also don't know what I'm going to make from this because yeah, I wasn't expecting to get it, so it was a really lovely surprise. But I need to have a think. She suggested a jumpsuit, and I think that's a super cool idea. I mean, that would be very groovy, maybe with like a wide strap, or just a classic summer dress. Maybe even like a jacket would be really cool in this. Imagine like there's like that shacket trend at the moment, so it's like shirt jackets, so they kind of like denim jacket style, but with fewer details, so actually wouldn't take as long to make, because denim jackets do take a long time to make, I learnt recently, but they are fully worth the effort because you wear them so much. But I have two pieces of this, so yeah, maybe a kind of shirt jacket, maybe a dress. Let me know what you think, because I just love it, and yeah, very kindly given to me by my mum, so thanks mum, I love that one. I presume that's from the sort of 70s, late 60s, early 70s, I'm not sure, but it's in good nick. Like, it's got a bit of faded, a few faded patches, but not too bad. It's nice to not always buy new, but you know, make use of old stuff. I think that's obviously good for the environment, but also I just think that they are so beautiful. Like, I actually have, oh, it's fluffing me out. I have some vintage fabrics which I haven't used yet. I just love them. I love having them, and they're such, yeah, beautiful, unusual prints that you can't find prints like this anymore. Like, not the same like color intensity. I think there's something just really special about them, and you can tell a lot about an era from like the colors and the types of designs and prints. And yeah, I just think they're really cool. I'm a massive fan of vintage fabric. This second piece, me and my mum actually shared. So she found this. She's so good at rummaging. She's amazing. She always finds the good stuff at these fairs. So she found this piece, and it was like, I think it was £12 or £15, and it didn't say how much was in this sort of bundle, how many meters, but we could tell it was a lot, and we thought it would be like 4 meters. We got it home, measured it, it was 6.5 meters of fabric, and it's 1.5 meters wide, and it's this, again, gorgeous yellow floral. I think this is definitely more of like an 80s print, but I just fell in love with that. I think it's so fun. I love all the bright colors, all the bright flowers. It's quite wrinkly because it's just fresh out the wash. I haven't bothered to iron it yet. I don't bother to iron them until I'm going to use them, because it's just going to get folded up and more wrinkly anyway. But she very kindly said, well, she's not going to use 6.5 meters, so she said I can have half of it. So I've got 3.25 meters here, which is, it's 1.5 wide. So there's a lot of fabric, and I'm imagining just like a really beautiful full skirted summer dress, perhaps to wear to a wedding or something like that. I mean, not my own wedding, but as a wedding guest, it would be a great dress, or even just to wear to work. Or, you know, out at the weekend. I'm not afraid of wearing things which are like super bright and bold and huge, just, you know, casually with some trainers. I think it looks kind of fun. So yeah, I love this one. The selvage, you can learn a lot if you are vintage shopping. You can learn a lot from the selvages. Doesn't seem to have much written on it. It says copyright by Home and Style. I don't know Home and Style. Something I would recommend doing, a good tip if you are looking to get into buying vintage fabrics, is to always unfold them before you buy them, because quite often they will have fading around the edges, particularly if the fabric that you're buying used to be a curtain, it was hanging in a window. All around the edges where the light hit the front fabric, you will get fading. That's usually fine. You can work around it, just cut that bit off, or if you don't mind having a bit of fading in your design, then obviously it works fine. But also you can, if you're using like a vintage tablecloth, you guys know I love vintage tablecloths. I've been using one recently to make the yoke of my Bloomsbury blouse, my Nina Lee Bloomsbury blouse. Tablecloths can obviously have a lot of stains on them. So I would always recommend, when you're buying a vintage fabric, opening it up, holding it up to the light, and then you'll be able to just see instantly where the stain is, which if you look at it down low, you might not be able to see that, but yeah, hold it up to the light, have a good look through, just to make sure that, yeah, you're not going to make up a garment and then realise at the end, oh god, there's a stain like right here. So you can usually rearrange them, you know, so if there is a small stain, you can cut around it, or you could put it like here so nobody's going to notice it, like in a side seam or, you know, lower back or something. So those are the vintage fabrics which I got last weekend, and I'm loving all of them. Again, no solid plans apart from this stripe here, because I know that I've been wanting to make this Boden shirt for so long. So yeah, very excited to do that. So should I show you some of the vintage patterns I've got, because I love vintage patterns. So from my mum's shop, my mum runs a antique shop called Smoking Monkey Antiques. I bought 2 patterns. The first one, I'm obsessed with square necklines at the moment, which is a very obscure thing to be obsessed with, but I bought this one. It is style 4613. It's got beautiful square neckline, a little sort of overlay sort of type of collar, and I just love this version with the long puff sleeve and the square neck, and it's like a really subtle floral. It's just so cute. It's a size 14, which is probably one size too big for me in a vintage pattern. I'm a UK 8 to 10 in modern sizes, but in a vintage pattern, I would generally make a 12, because I think that I know that they used to, make their sizes much smaller, and the proportions were different. But I would say that old-fashioned proportions fit me better. I think I've got like an old-fashioned shape. I don't know. yeah, so I love that one. But so it's one size too big, but I'll just do like a larger seam allowance. I think that'll be absolutely fine. This one here is a size 12, so I was very pleased to find this. It's got this gorgeous, I just love this pattern. It's got this lovely gathered neckline onto elastic, but then it has a waistband and a really nice slim fit skirt, which, you know, flares outwards, which is just amazing, because often when you do find the tops now in modern patterns which have a pretty gathered neckline, they're just really shapeless and not overly flattering. So I love that it actually, even though it has that really nice detail around the neck with the elastic, it's got a short sleeve and a long sleeve option, it's still really flattering because it comes in, it has this plain band there at the waist. So I love that. Style 2204. Yeah, it's just great. And that's actually a size 12, that's my exact size, so that's quite handy. So those two are from my mum's shop. She gave me these two from, no, these three. No, I bought this one from her shop before. But it's style 3999, and again, it's got this square neck, and I'm obsessed with this pattern, and this is the one I'm most excited to sew. It's just lovely. I really am obsessed with that one. My mum also gave me these two patterns from her stash, which was very kind of her because she wasn't going to use them. She said she made this skirt when she was younger, so it was quite cool. They've reproduced it, and I'm going to make a version, I hope. Probably not imminently, but I really love it. It's the Burda style 6965. It's rated as easy, and it's got this really cool bias cut panels which kind of wrap all around you, and you can do a stripe with it, you can do contrast prints. It's just really cool. She said she made a version, she like cut each panel into other small pieces, which just sounds mad to me, but apparently it was great. A lot of effort went into that skirt. It did sound amazing. So yeah, excited by that one. And the last one, I just love this shape. I think it's adorable. I feel like it kind of looks like maternity wear, but it doesn't really bother me. I think it's really cute. Just another square neckline. I'm really feeling it. I love it. But it's also got buttons down the front. I just think this is so cute. It's a little tunic and trousers. I think what I'm tempted to do though is lengthen it to a little dress. It's a practical patterns. What lovely illustrations are on this. Isn't that so cute? Yeah. I just love the illustrations. I think they're really, really cool. I like the big eyes and the big fringe, and yeah, they're just really cute. So this one is also a size 14, so again, it'll be a little bit too big, but Mum said she's actually tried this one and it was too small for her, so actually maybe it comes up really small and actually it will be fine for me. Coordinating influence for casual comfort in this button-through smock top and flared turn-up trousers. I like how they describe them. I don't know what year this was, but it doesn't look new. She had some really cool, very old ones in her shop, which were had all the instructions for how to make clothes from parachutes from the times of rationing, which yeah, I thought was really cool. The last pattern that I got from Vintage Mischief, which was the shop where I bought this striped fabric from. It's a very easy Vogue pattern from I think the 1970s. I just bought it because it's such a cool and unusual shape. And it is a hooded dress, and it has like a maxi hooded dress option. I bought this just simply because I don't think you can buy patterns like this anymore, and that is just so cool. I just loved it. For me, I'm a big collector of vintage patterns. I don't necessarily want to sew every pattern that I buy. I just think they're so interesting, and they're such a part of fashion history and women's history, and a little insight into a woman's life, when you open it up and they've written things on them by hand, and I just find it so lovely and interesting, and yeah, it's a little piece of someone's history, isn't it? And I think it's really cool. Maybe I will make a hooded dress though. I do love the idea of it. I just think it's really cool. And looks like Star Wars-y almost, like the long white maxi dress with a hood. It's pretty cool. So those are the old patterns I got. And I also, lastly, bought some vintage buttons. I would say if you're ever at a market or a charity shop, they're a really good place to pick up cheap buttons. So I paid £1 and got all these little brown ones because I'm very into large brown buttons. And I also got some little cards with, I really like these ones there. They were 50p, I think. Oh no, they were £1, sorry, for 4. I think vintage buttons have a really nice chic look. These were 50p. And yeah, I really like quite plain brown buttons generally, but I also like fun buttons. So I got these ones, which I just thought were really cool. And yeah, they've got specks, and it's just really interesting how they're made. I don't know, different parts of plastic kind of squished in together. I thought they were really cool. So I got some little buttons. So yeah, those are the bits which I picked up. But before I go, I actually won a little competition with Simplicity. So Simplicity do a competition over on their Instagram. So if you post a picture of any of something you've made with any of their patterns, if you use the hashtag #SimplicityByMe, you get entered into this competition, and every month they pick a winner, and it was me. So that was very exciting, which was actually a skirt I made with vintage fabric from Vintage Mystery. So I'll put a picture in here of my winning picture, which is very exciting. And they've sent me some stickers, which I'm always a fan of. Here they are. So these are Simplicity vintage stickers, and they're just really cute. I guess they're to go in your diary or something like that. And I'm a big fan. I keep a diary every day, like not like a Dear Diary type diary, but I always keep a diary. I love having it and just jotting down what I need to do, what I've done. I find it really helpful. So I'm excited to use these really cute little vintage Simplicity stickers in my diary. And I also got sent some patterns. Now, I'm not loving all of these, obviously, but I'm incredibly grateful that I got sent them for free. It was really, really lovely. So the first one is actually the toaster sweater. They've now been licensed by Simplicity. So if any of you have made the Sew House 7 toaster sweater, you will know how popular it has been. I've actually already got this pattern, but only one of the versions. So it's really nice to have all of the versions in one pack, and I don't have to do any assembling of PDFs. So I'm a fan, and it's really nicely styled and photographed on the front. So I was very excited to get that one. It's Simplicity 8529, so loving that one there. And I also love this blouse. I think it's really cute. I'm not loving this one with a frill on, but I think this is just so chic. This is Simplicity 8090, and it would be so perfect for summer. It's just really nice little crop. I love a crop shape because I'm quite short. Actually, crop shapes often are just like the right length. They're not actually, don't come up that cropped. So yeah, really loving that one there. I got this top, and I'm not entirely sure if I will make this one. Perhaps what I am planning on doing is a giveaway soon. So what I might do is any of these which I'm not going to use, I could include in that giveaway. I don't know, let me know what you think of these ones here. So this is Simplicity 8512. And it's got a raglan sleeve, which for one, I'm not a fan of because I have small shoulders and I just don't find that a raglan sleeve fits properly over them. They look a bit like a poofy. But it does look quite cool. I like, it reminds me, this one here, of like if I was an ice skater, this is what I would wear and like, you know, pirouette around. But it's sort of like party tops. A nice, really nice fluted sleeve piece here though. That's quite a nice piece. This one is very uninspiring, I'm not going to lie. Looking at the picture, it just makes it look really plain. But actually, I think it's a really nice pair of culottes, and I am looking to make a tailored pair of culottes. So I'm actually really loving this design. I just think that I think the colours look a bit too plain for me. Like it doesn't really pop, you know, when you see that in the pattern book. But this is a very nice pair of culottes. So I love that they've got the pleated front. It's Simplicity 8092, and yeah, I like that one a lot. This one here is a lovely pattern, but I think that I probably wouldn't use a pattern if I was to make a gathered skirt, so this could be another one which I include in a giveaway. It's New Look 6437. It's rated easy, and this would actually be a perfect beginner's sewing project. It's just, yeah, it's the perfect project, I think, if you're new to sewing. And this is the kind of skirt which, you know, I would wear all the time. I'm sure lots of other people would as well. It's really simple. So yeah, that's my prize. So thank you very much, Simplicity. I was very, very pleased. I've got so many sewing patterns at this point. I need to start like cataloguing them or something. But like I said, I really enjoy collecting them. I find them so interesting. And yeah, these ones one day will be vintage, which is weird to think, isn't it? But maybe if I hold on to them someday, yeah, they'll be vintage patterns too. So that's what I've been getting up to. Those are the bits I picked up at the vintage fair. It was so much fun. Yeah, and I'm really excited to film my makes video. So next weekend, I'm hoping to be able to film my makes video and show you guys what I've been sewing. So you saw in my video last weekend, the jumpsuit and the blouse that I've been working on. Was that last weekend? No, the weekend before last. The jumpsuit and the blouse I've been working on. And I've actually managed to finish both of those and something else as well. So it'd be lovely to be able to show you 3 things that I've been working on in March, April and May. And perhaps I'll be able to get one of these fabrics made up by then as well. And yeah, it'll be really nice to wear them, talk to you about the patterns, and yeah. So that's everything for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week. I'll see you again soon. Bye.